You open an app during a game, not before the game, during it. A player is about to take a shot. A quarterback is about to throw. A striker is lining up near the box. And the app asks a simple question: do you want to bet on what happens next? For most of history, sports were something people watched. Then they become something people talked about. Then something people argued over. Then something people bet on. But now, something stranger has happened. Sports have become a casino you can carry in your pocket. And the casino no longer needs you to walk through a door. It only needs you to check the score. This is the strange part. The most important change in gambling was not just legalization. It was not just advertising. It was not even the size of the bets. It was the removal of distance. A casino used to be a place. Now it is a button. And when gambling becomes a button, the entire psychology of money changes. In 2018, the Supreme Court opened the door for states to legalize sports betting. Before that, legal sports betting in America was mostly associated with Nevada. After that decision, states began building their own markets. The idea sounded simple. People were already betting on sports. Much of it was illegal, offshore or informal. So states could legalize it, regulate it, tax it, and bring it into the open. On paper, this looked like modernization. But the product that emerged was not just an old betting window moved onto a phone. It was something much more powerful. A modern sports betting app is not just a place to place a wager. It is a live financial interface wrapped around emotion. It has odds that move in real time, promotions that appear at the exact moment attention is highest, deposit buttons designed to feel instant, tiny wagers that feel harmless, and bets that can be placed not only on who wins, but on almost anything that happens inside the game. Your next point, your next speech, your next shot, your next play. The event becomes the interface. The fan becomes the user. And the game becomes a stream of financial decisions. This is the first hidden mechanism. The app does not need to make every bet feel important. It needs to make every bet feel small. A $5 bet does not feel like a major financial decision. A $10 bet during a game does not feel like debt. A quick deposit does not feel like walking into a casino with cash. It feels like participating. It feels like being closer to the game. It feels like turning a boring moment into a meaningful one. But small numbers behave differently when they are repeated. A small bet is not dangerous because it's large. It is dangerous because it can happen again, and again, and again. Especially when the game itself keeps creating new moments. This is where sports betting starts to resemble a subscription, a mobile game, and a stock trading app at the same time. It turns waiting into action. It turns attention into transaction. It turns emotion into volume. A traditional bet has a beginning and an end. You place it before the game, then you wait. But live betting changed the rhythm. Now, the game keeps reopening the decision. If you're winning, the app can offer another chance. If you're losing, the app can offer a way back. And if nothing's happening, the app can make something feel like it is happening. This is why micro betting matters. Micro betting breaks the game into tiny places. Instead of betting on the final score, a person can bet on the next few seconds. The financial decision shrinks, but the frequency rises. And the emotional temperature stays high. That combination is powerful because the human brain is not built to calmly price risk while emotionally invested in a live event. A fan watching their team is not neutral. They are hopeful, angry, excited, anxious, certain, wrong, then certain again. The app lives inside that emotional weather. It does not have to create the feeling. Sports already did that. The app simply connects the feeling to a payment system. Even losing can deepen the loop, because losing creates a very specific kind of emotion, the desire to get back to even. People often do not chase wealth. They chase the feeling of undoing a loss. But money does not work that way. A loss does not become less real because the next bet feels possible. And this is where the app becomes especially effective. It makes the next chance appear immediately. No drive home, no walk to an ATM, no closing bell, no natural pause, just another line, another boost, another deposit, and another moment. Modern money keeps reducing friction. Sports betting apps reduce the friction of gambling. And when friction disappears, behavior changes. This does not mean every person who uses a betting app is harmed. It does not mean every bet is a disaster. It means the environment has changed. And when the environment changes, the average behavior changes with it. Researchers at the New York Fed studied what happened after legalized mobile sports betting expanded. They found that sports betting actively rose sharply after legalization, and that credit delinquencies increased in affected areas. The most important part was not just that more people were betting, it was that the financial effects showed up outside the app in credit cards, in auto loans, in delinquency, in the lives of borrowers, especially those under 40. That matters because a betting app does not look like a credit product. It does not look like a loan. It does not look like a bill. But if the money used to bet comes from a credit card, a cash advance, a drained checking account, or money that would have gone somewhere else, then the app is connected to the rest of a person's financial life. The bet may be isolated on the screen, but the consequences are not isolated in real life. A sportsbook deposit can then compete with groceries, with rent, with a car payment, with a credit card minimum, with the quiet obligations that do not feel exciting but keep a life stable. This is the deeper reversal. Sports betting is marketed as entertainment, but financially, it behaves like a system that converts entertainment into repeated risk taking. And the business model depends on the differences between what the user feels and what the system measures. The user feels moments, the system measures lifetime value. The user sees a bet, the system sees retention. The user remembers the win, and the system prices the probability. The user thinks about tonight, and the system thinks about volume. Trust gap is where the business lives. That's what makes sports betting so different from many other forms of gambling. It did not have to create an audience from scratch. Sports already had one. Millions of people already watched the games. They already cared about the players. They already argued about predictions. They already believed they knew something the market did not. The betting app entered an existing emotional world and added a transaction layer. This is why the advertising works so easily. It does not have to explain why the game matters. The fan already knows. It only has to suggest that the fan can matter inside the game. Not just watch, participate. Not just predict, profit. Not just cheer. Have something on it. That phrase sounds casual, but it changes the relationship. When someone has money on a game, the game stops being only entertainment. It becomes a financial instrument with a scoreboard. And that scoreboard updates constantly. This is the old casino principle in a new form. The individual bettor experiences one story. The house experiences millions of outcomes. The odds are not neutral facts, they're prices. And those prices are built so the operator can survive over time. The difference is that the old casino had walls. The new one has notifications. It can reach people at home, at work, at a bar, on a train, during lunch, during a game, after a loss, before payday, in the exact emotional moment when judgment is weakest. This is why the phone matters. A casino used to require intention. Now gambling can appear inside boredom, inside fandom, inside stress, inside celebration, inside loneliness. The app collapses the distance between impulse and action. And for money, distance matters. Distance gives the brain time to catch up. It creates a pause. It lets the feeling cool down before the transaction happens. Modern finance keeps removing those pauses. The tap, the click, the subscription, the instant loan, the saved card, the one button deposit. The easier money becomes to move, the harder it becomes to feel. Sports betting sits at the extreme edge of that trend because it combines invisible money with visible emotion. The money lives quietly, the game reacts loudly. Their imbalance can make the loss feel abstract and the action feel alive. And once the loss becomes abstract, it becomes easier to repeat. This is why the public conversation is so complicated. States can point to tax revenue, leagues can point to engagement, fans can point to entertainment. But a missed payment does not show up on the scoreboard. The system collects money in public. The damage often happens in private. For many people, gambling harm does not begin as a dramatic collapse. It begins as a change in rhythm, checking odds more often, depositing a little more, thinking about the next bet during the current game, feeling bored watching sports without money involved, using a win as a proof, using a loss as motivation. Slowly, the game becomes less about the game and more about the next financial outcome. This is the moment the app has changed the meaning of fandom. A fan used to suffer because their team lost. Now they can suffer because their team won, but not by enough. This is what happens when entertainment is sliced into markets. Every moment can be priced, every outcome can be traded, every feeling can be monetized. The game becomes bigger, but the viewer can become smaller inside it. The important point is not that sports betting should be treated as some mysterious evil. It is not mysterious. It is a business model. And once you see the business model, the design starts to make sense. The promotions, the free bets, the constant odds, the celebrity ads, the live updates, the tiny wagers, the emotional timing, the feeling that you're not gambling, but participating in sports more deeply than before. All of it points in the same direction. More engagement, more deposits, more moments converted into money. This is the hidden system. Sports did not become a casino because people suddenly changed. Sports became a casino because technology made it possible to attach a casino to every game, every screen, and every emotional spike. The old world asked you to go to the risk. The new world brings the risk to you. And that may be the most important financial change of all. Because when the casino is in your pocket, living is no longer a physical act. It is a psychological one. The future of sports may be more interactive, more profitable, and more personalized than ever. But it may also become harder to simply watch, harder to separate prediction from payment, harder to enjoy a game without turning it into a balance sheet. Sports used to ask you one simple question: who will win? Now, the app asks something else. How much do you want to feel it? How much do you want to feel it? And if this changed the way you see money, watch the next video, because the sports betting app is not the only machine built around small decisions. It is just one of the easiest to see once you know what to look for. Subscribe for more videos that explain the hidden system behind money, business, and modern life.